Welcome back, powerful genius, to another episode of your all-time favorite podcast, the Make Money Podcast, here in video form. I'm Jeanine Hurd, and today we're talking about the 3 reasons you're still talking to clients you've outgrown. I love this conversation so much, and this popped up a lot as a common theme. Last week on Instagram, I launched a new format for the podcast in which I was offering to my followers that you can apply for a one-on-one live coaching session with me, which is going to be recorded, and you basically see my work in real time and what's happening. So many people were applying, and as I was reading through what was coming up, where people were kind of stuck, what the issues are, what are current upper limits they've identified, I saw this common theme so much. And I thought, let me actually do a podcast episode about that. And the first reason, so I don't forget them, I even wrote them down for myself. First reason is you still explain things to rich clients who already know it. And this is it sounds so obvious, but if you actually go back to your content, you actually see that you're not doing this. So when we start our business, right, and we have our first customers, where we are is we're here, customers here. So we kind of go down to their level and pick them up where they are. We explain what's happening, right? Hey, you're here, you're doing this, and if you want to come up here, a different level, this is a path, this is what we're gonna do, right? So now you've reached this level, and let's say on this first milestone, you made your first 10K month. So now you are you've upgraded as a woman, you've upgraded your identity, you've upgraded your programs. We're reaching a point where we don't want to teach the beginner things anymore. There's nothing wrong with it, right? But even for me, I could teach you how to start a business. I could teach you how to make your first 10K. But even just saying this, it feels so heavy. It feels so draining because I'm not in my zone of genius. Just because I can doesn't mean I have to. So this was really an evolution for me, meaning talking to a woman who is making 50K, 100K already every month and wants to make 200, 500,000, $1 million a month, the conversations we're having have to be just very, very different, right? And obviously this person, I don't have to teach anymore, or we don't have to talk about how to find your first client, how to make your first 10K, how to write a social media post. This is social media. This is how you create content that converts followers into buyers. This person would be just so bored, right? So what happens to many of you, you're still creating content to somebody who's in the beginner stages you actually don't want to have as a client anymore. So it's something I definitely would check. How have I up-leveled my conversations? Because sometimes we think I'm yeah, but if I'm now assuming everybody in my audience, sticking to myself, right, already makes 100K, has a 50K offer, how would that shift? How would that change my content? What are conversations I'm actually bringing now to the table, right? Can you see this conversation we are having right now is not for somebody who's in the beginner stages of their business. And here's why. Because if you're in the beginning stages of your business, that you outgrew your audience is not an issue. It can't happen to you. It only happens over time. How do I know? I've been there. How do I know this is so valid? I've been there multiple times. I outgrew my audience multiple times. I had to reinvent myself over and over and over again. And I shared this super early in the beginning. I hosted 6 years ago a paid webinar called Lunch and Learn for 39 euros. And that was already wild because it was a paid webinar. And I up-leveled my prices to the the lowest price I offered was 10,000 euros. The highest was $250,000. So again, from low price to, I would say, mid and high ticket price, I changed my business model. Then I became an industry leader in Germany in the coaching scene. I wrote a best-selling book, which was in the German book charts next to Elon Musk, and won multiple awards and everything. And I decided, I'm up-leveling again, and from a local, domestic brand, I'm becoming a global brand. I'm switching from German to English, from a German-speaking audience to a worldwide audience. Guess what? It's so uncomfortable when you outgrow your audience and you're up-leveling, because in a way it's it takes more courage than anything else, because the German audience has created over, I think, 18 million in sales. And now I'm saying like, oh, goodbye. Because many Germans, they don't speak English good enough, or at least tell themselves the story that they're like, ooh, I'm in, I love it, to receive coaching now, right, in English. Because also, let's be honest, it's a different conversation we're having if I'm just having a conversation in a different language, or if this is like a real mirror reflection, business coaching, energetics conversation we're having, like the deep talk in a different language. Let's put it like that. It's just the difference. So I lost many people. It's uncomfortable when this happens, when we outgrow our audience, but there's no way around. When you outgrow your audience and you don't let them go, it's like having a sandsack on your shoulders that's like draining and pulling you down. You can't swim down there. It gets very heavy. And for sure, not fast. Next point I wrote down, which I think also is super, super important, and we don't talk about this often enough. So I love to bring this to the conversation, obviously. And that is, you build your current containers to make your past you feel powerful. So in the beginning, right, when you have like your 5K offer and you start selling it, and then you have a couple people there, 10, 20, 50, whatever, right? It's like, ooh, it feels amazing. People are in your world, money's coming in. However, you're actually holding 12 people. Let's assume you sold your current 5K offer to 12 people. But now you're also having 12 people in this container. Yes, they paid you, clap for yourself, but it's not about the money. I always say it's how you feel at the end of the coaching container. And when I talk to my clients that are going through this transformation, what I actually see is that they feel so drained from their current clients. When you are feeling drained from your current clients, this is the biggest indicator that you actually outgrow your audience, and it is time to up level. To really show who you are, show and lead with your new identity, the boundaries, the standards you have. And it's uncomfortable. Trust me. I've just did this myself. And what we changed was like, till last week, you were actually able to book a one-on-one session with me, which is $10,000. Or you can apply kind of, or like if you were a current client, you even just could book the mastermind I'm offering. And I'm like, actually, this doesn't feel aligned anymore. Just because I can have a mastermind, I can offer this, and it just doesn't feel aligned anymore that people can say, I'm like, I have the money, I'm buying. I had this in the past, and I'm like, if I'm reflecting at the end of my mastermind, how did I feel? Not how did my clients feel, how did I feel? I'm like, if I reflect, was there actually every person that was in the room meant to be in that room? And the answer was so often no. I'm like, no, just no. And we all know this when we're in room and when there are people that are like pulling energy. So I'm like, okay, how can I change this? How can I was contemplating this for quite a while, and I came to the conclusion, this is how we're doing it now. You have to be in my world, in the Rich Woman's Room, which is the program in which I teach you how to create your 50K offer, how to market your 50K offer, and how to sell your 50K offer. And once you've sold it once, how to sell more of your 50K offer. And that comes with a 4-week mastermind. And depending on if you show up to this mastermind, how you show up, how you implement, this is what I'm looking for. I will, kind of like in The Bachelor, hand you over a rose and offer you a spot either to my mastermind or my one-on-one coaching. And of course, no strings attached. You can say yes or no, just like in The Bachelor. But it moved from application only to invitation only. I'm like, I had to up-level my identity to show what I was feeling the whole time, right? This is like, you enter my world. I've accomplished so much. There are not many women that have built a coaching business in 6 years and made over $22 million in sales. It's just not average. So also being a former investment banker, I know what I'm bringing to the table. And especially bringing in all this money with a small, currently, till yesterday, small audience I was having is even more amazing. So I know a lot of information about sales, about energetics, how to embody this. I have so much to give. I'm like, why am I widely available? It's like my home. I don't even want everybody coming to my home. And even the people I know, would I invite them or like allow them just to come in my home and basically say, here's the address, just come on in? Or I'm like, hell no. Hell no. So a massive shift here, right? From application to invitation only. And everybody that wants to be in close proximity in my world, it's so easy, right? You do the Rich Woman's Room, there's a 4-week mastermind, you show up, you are attending the live calls, you're implementing, and depending on that, you may get a rose from me. Final part I want to bring to the conversation today is I wrote down, you're still posting like you're convincing people so you feel safe. And this is something like, I'm completely guilty of all of the points, huh? This last point especially, I remember so often I used to say like, this is a safe space. Like, no question is stupid here. You don't have to be ready, just willing. And it's not true. They are stupid questions. In a way, not like stupid. This may not be the right wording. But if we're talking about how to create a 50K offer, let's be honest, for a business beginner, it's not the first thing on your mind. Like if you don't have a business, if you don't have a paying customer, immediately jumping into creating a 50K offer, learning how to create it, market and sell it, most of you are energetically just not there to hold this, to like, if you're currently here, and you want to go up here, it just gets so uncomfortable, right? It doesn't even fit in the picture anymore. It just gets so uncomfortable. So we have to talk about this. So if somebody already sold something for like 2K, 5K, 10K, okay, going to 50K, it's not so uncomfortable. It's not so big, this step. So, you know, it's like, as a coach, I feel I also have a responsibility for the room and the people I let into that room. And that also means if you're a beginner, the Rich Woman's Room is not for you. It's not my world. Like I don't teach you how to start a business. I don't teach you how to find your first customer. There are other people. They're completely passionate about it. They're so excellent about it. Like, please go there. So this really means for you, like, where is it that you're still trying to convince people that it's like time to move? And I've been so guilty about this. And this really is also a contemplation of mine that I am not offering annual spaces anymore. Like the Rich Woman's Room is 6 months, whereas the first month you have access to me right through the mastermind. And then the other 5 months you have access to the content and it's self-implementation. It's like you learn everything. You have obviously the possibility to ask questions. Team Rich and Happy is there to support you, but it's like you with you implementing everything. And then in my other containers, if you receive a rose, right, there's more close proximity. But what I've realized is, first of all, having a commitment for my, from other people for 6 months is a very long time, especially if you have people in your world that are not moving, that are like draining, kind of like dumping their personal drama into your coaching rooms. It's draining for you, it's draining for other people. So I really moved to shorter periods and even proximity in short term. And I think this worked out really, really well for me. Also as a 2-line. So very important business advice for my 2 lines in human design. See how you feel when you have a clear start and end date. Like even with my one-on-one clients, like they always have the possibility to extend, but the way our contract is done, it's like you commit to 3 months, I commit to 3 months. After 3 months, we see how we feel if you want to extend, if I want to extend with you, and we continue. But it's already predetermined, basically, the rate to extend up to 3 times. So basically, in the beginning, when you sign a contract with us, you receive, obviously, the rate for the first 3 months. And then it's, like I said, like the possibility to extend the contract, yes or no, depending on both of us giving this relationship another yes for 3 months, then the price is already predetermined. So I feel this feels very aligned with me because as I keep raising my prices, especially for my masterminds and my one-on-one coachings, clients that started have like they locked on the price for a year. So it's something I realized works super, super well for me as a 2-line. Again, this is no like generic business advice because we're all different. And there are people out there that love to create like annual or even like 2 years of like coaching rooms. And for me personally, it's the biggest nightmare. I just personally don't like it. I love shorter containers. Also found this out myself, right? Reflect on the coachings you've invested. How are you feeling at the end? And every time I was like in an annual thing, I always had this energy of like, oh, I'm happy it's done. It was not like, oh, I'm really sad it's done. And it's not about the coach or the container, right? It was amazing knowledge and everything I've learned, I've experienced, but just like how I felt. And in general, I just don't like to do those long-term commitments. Even with like Like my internet and cable, right? Bills is a paid month to month and I can change it. It's just something I prefer. And some people said like, oh, you have a hard time to commit. Like, no, I don't. Like, I mean, obviously I'm married. It's not a month to month, a day to day thing. But they're just things in a business world where I like it not to be in long-term contracts because I'm changing and evolving all the time. And if I outgrew a place or clients, I just want to move. I don't want to drag people that are not willing to do the work or not willing to move as fast as I am with me. Because I've done this in the past and it's very draining. So I hope this really helps you. Let me know in the comments what you're thinking, if this resonated with you, if you feel like, oh, this was a good mirror today. I can see myself in some of the episodes. And obviously, if you haven't joined the Rich Woman's Room, it's the best time to join the Rich Woman's Room. It's 6 months in which we will create, market, sell, and sell more of your 50K offer. We're starting with a 4-week mastermind in which I get to know you, your business, and it's just a phenomenal program. I love it so, so much. I deeply believe every woman that has a business and you're using your spiritual gifts in that business has to have a 50K offer. We have to get paid insanely well for our spiritual gifts and talents. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been a waste to give those to us because they have high value to the world. I love you. You've got this. I talk to you next week.